Hey folks, welcome back to FreepCast. My name is Robb Murray. I'm here as always with Joe Spear, the managing editor of the Free Press, and we have some news to get to here today. Joe, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, hello everybody. More and more people are talking about the silos and the silo art. As we know, a few weeks ago, Ardent Mills announced they were closing their flour milling operation and committed, sort of, in a way, to working with the city and the arts groups. They sound very sincere about transitioning that building to another use. And so people are talking about it, what can be done. You know, we know one local developer is trying to contact Ardent Mills. We don't know where that's at yet, but I know there's great interest in that. And we had a story this past week from Mike Lagerquist, who's been a long-time Mankato guy, knows the history, knows Hubbard Millie, knows everything. He dug up some interesting stories from the past where when Hubbard was getting ready to repurpose it and do something with it, they were talking about redeveloping into shops that would blend in with Old Town and maybe offices and maybe a museum. They talked about a milling museum. And, of course, we know that happened up in Minneapolis with their old flour mill, and it's turned out to be, from what I can tell, a pretty fantastic project. The history of milling in this town does have a great history of ag processing and milling. So it seems like it would be, kind of the perfect reuse for that building. It's always difficult, to get people to take risks on small shops and in stores and sort of like that. We've kind of seen some fallout in Old Town recently.
I was going to ask you about that. What, as a former business reporter yourself, what goes into repurposing a building like that? What are some of the things on the mind of a proposed developer? What do they have to think about?
Yeah.
They're going to make a profit, or what
The
goes all of
biggest
that?
thing is have a good story for the bank. Tell them how you're going to make money. You're going to probably borrow money. And have a plan, unless you're independently wealthy, which some people are, can just throw money at it. So you got to have a business plan, and you got to figure out, has this been done before? Has this business worked before? Are there competitors in the market? Will it be tough to, open another cafe when there's tons of cafes in town or at Old Town? Will there be competition? How long will you, the owner, be willing to sustain losses until your business is profitable? Can you do that 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Over the years, I've seen so many people have great ideas and go into business, and they just had no concept of how long it was going to take them to make money, and that ends up being the downfall on a lot of that. It's a good question, and I was just curious about this property, so I looked up the property value. There's two parcels on this property. The one's kind of the main mill, and one's that little building right in front of it that used to be, for those in town here, American Bank. And so the whole property looks like it's worth about $2.5 million. So now, does Ardent have to have $2.5 million? Who knows? Maybe not. But that's the value the county lists as the building. And I imagine some kind of redevelopment project like this, there'll be proposals for tax increment financing, taxpayer subsidies, basically, where the money comes back to taxpayers after a while. But it's kind of a loan first, so there'll probably be stuff like that. And but it seems like kind of an intriguing prospect. And we got a lot of big projects going on right now. We got the hotel project that's $90 million, and that's took several big investors in town to put money up for that. So it'll be curious to see if there's another investor out there who wants to put up. It's only $2.6 million, and we know a brewery is trying to be sold for $3.5 million or whatever that is. So there might be a lot of demand for people's spare change, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But
For folks who don't know, Joe has a master's degree in economics, so he's got a firm handle on all these things.
yeah, it only gives you the ability to tell when people are lying about economics.
Well, that's good.
It's
a good skill to have.
Yeah, it's a good skill to have. So that's a fun story. We'll be watching that. It'll be another fun story to follow, and the developments. And that kind of story does get a lot of readership on our website and everywhere. So if you haven't subscribed to the paper yet, or, get us online. You can get notices for all this kind of stuff to keep up on it. I know I've talked to business people around town, and a lot of them like the online version because, they're not always at their doorstep waiting for their paper at 6 a.m, so they can get news wherever they need it. Another big story, kind of a tragic story, continues. The family of the MSU student who died in a landslide at Minneopa last year, about a year ago. They had a vigil last weekend, and their lawyer says they'll be pursuing a lawsuit against the DNR for negligence. That there should have been safety signs up, I think. They're thinking, and this area, according to a story we did about 5 years ago, is prone to landslides, and so they had a vigil. We did not get out to that, weren't really notified of it, but as you said, Rob, some people at MSU at the college paper were notified of it and did a nice story. It certainly is the right of every family to pursue these kind of things, and it's really a tragic accident, just a freak accident, really. You're out and about trying to enjoy nature. So somebody asked me, you think, they would win their lawsuit? And I said, likely it would be maybe settled. I don't think the DNR and the government really likes to go into long trials or lawsuits about this kind of thing. They'll probably get some kind of settlement, and the state has money set aside for these kind of things. So that's kind of where that's at. But
one other note about that story, the article in the MSU student newspaper mentioned that the family was not happy with the university.
Really?
Because, they say after this happened, no one from the school reached out to them.
Oh, that's not good.
And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just
Right.
That's what they said in that piece.
Maybe someone from MSU tried to, and they didn't get
Very
back
possible.
to them.
It's very possible efforts were made and it just wires crossed or whatever. But
Yeah, it's too bad, and it's a beautiful park, as we all know, and many people visit it. But that trail has been closed now ever since. So I don't know if there's a plan to reopen that anytime soon.
have you ever gone down there, like the way?
I have, yeah.
And it's me and my family have gone down there. My kids love going down there, where the falls drop in the summer.
Yeah,
It's hard to get back there. It's not for the. If you're unsteady on your feet, it's
Right.
not the place for you.
and I haven't been there in probably 5 or 10 years, so I'm probably one of those people who's now unsteady on his feet.
It's tricky. It's tricky
So-
to get back there, but once you do get back there, it is gorgeous. It's really fantastic sight. I can see
Yeah.
where the appeal would be for anybody, and it would be really tragic if people couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. I think I wrote a magazine article on the history of Minneopa when it got started, and it was really quite a big deal in the 1800s, and it was like considered one of the greatest first or second, I think it was the second state park in the state. And a lot went into it, and it's endured through the years, and it's a great tourist attraction. And now we know with the bison, it's great. So hopefully that'll be resolved, and we can get sort of back to where everything was.
And obviously, our hearts go out to that family for
Yeah, absolutely.
terrible loss.
Big story by Mark Fishnick, emerald ash borer.
You mean big or long, or both?
Long, both. It wasn't his record story though. I think he came in at 95 inches or something like that.
The man
And
is thorough.
He's done 120, 150 on some things. But if you wanted to know everything about emerald ash borer and how it's affecting this community, that story is the comprehensive story to learn about it. 2 things, simple things you can take away from it. 1, emerald ash borer is in every neighborhood in Mankato and surrounding areas.
Mm-hmm.
Several trees in parks, boulevards, everywhere. And the city's got some, I think, on pace to cut down 200 of them a year. The other part of that story was a good consumer piece, letting people know that the experts who know about these trees say don't procrastinate any longer. Either treat them or cut them down, because they can get very brittle and break without you really knowing they're going to break. And if one's near your house or your car, you're going to have a headache. So I know I have a few ash trees. I've been looking at them very closely the last summer, and think I'm probably going to have to take some action.
So here's my question about this. If we get rid of every ash tree in town, do the ash borers just leave? Do they head to the next state? Where do they go?
I don't think so. I mean, they're obviously cutting them down to get fewer of them. I think there was something in the article about they eventually die off when they don't have places to live and eat.
And do they just do ash trees?
It sounds like it.
That's so weird. Okay.
Yeah. But you're going to see, I guess they're using I think they can use the wood for wood chips and repurpose it to trails and stuff. I don't think that's a problem. But anyway, on to hockey. Mav hockey had 2 big wins a couple weeks ago in Michigan Tech. They're now ranked 13, and that's really faring well for them in the pairwise if they don't win the conference, which is always a toss-up with single elimination games, you know. So you're in automatically if you win the conference, but they're increasing their chances, I think, of being the what would you call it, wild card pick or whatever that can get into the tournament. And MSU football.
Is it still the case that so if you won the conference tournament, that's an automatic bid to the?
You have to win the playoff, not just
not
first.
just the regular season.
Right.
Okay.
You have to win the playoff. MSU football, crazy. 2 really close down to the wire wins to get into the national quarterfinal game that they're playing Saturday at Blakesley.
In Mankato.
Yes, against our old rival, Bemidji State, who also upset like the top seeds in their division.
They won that game with 1 second to go.
Crazy.
That guy did he have 4 field goals?
I think so.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. And Pueblo, they beat Pueblo, which is perennial powerhouse, tough team. So great to see Hoffner and Coach Hoffner and the Mav really taking this last season all as far as they can.
Maverick athletics, man. It's
who knows
for Division II. It's and in some cases Division I.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kicking butt. It's good.
Yeah, and the soccer team is right. They're in the national quarterfinals as well, playing at home. I think do they play Saturday or Sunday? I'm not sure. Again,
they're playing at home?
Yes. At the pitch.
And then the women's hockey team is playing the Wisconsin Badgers this weekend. Number 1 team in the nation.
Yeah, are they? The Badgers? Well, we beat the number 2 team.
I might go to one of those games.
It's here in town, right? Yeah. So that should be a big draw. Wisconsin, Madison people travel well. I think you'll probably see some red shirts.
They do.
In that arena.
I won't wear my Badger gear to that game.
You won't?
No.
I know you like Badger football, but
I do. I'm kind of all in.
I'm
kind of all in on the Badger sports.
Are you? Not just football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough with hockey with Mike Hastings being in Wisconsin. I mean, when it comes to hockey, I'm a Maverick fan.
Yeah.
But women's hockey,
Yep. As long as you don't take it to extremes. I know a guy who we would go to. We're on vacation. Go to a bar in Wisconsin, just across the Mississippi, and they serve him a beer in a Packers glass. He will not drink it. He take that back. He said, "I'm not drinking beer out of a Packers glass."
He's committed. That was committed, man. I mean,
let's just be a little, thoughtful, moderate.
It is.
Who knows if they're a Packer person? Well, you're a Viking fan. Maybe she would have thrown it in his face then.
I mean, the beer tastes the same, right?
Does it? I don't know. I like
whatever.
I like Wisconsin beer, the Spotted Cow.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff. What else do we need to talk about? What else is in the news? What's anything in your entertainment realm that's interesting? Alison Krauss, that's a big
Alison
deal.
Krauss is coming. It's in the summer, but she's going to be at the amphitheater, and a lot of lot of Alice and Krauss fans around here. I saw when we put that notice on Facebook, we had a few fans already.
Yeah, and
chiming
she
in.
hasn't like toured in a while, right? I
don't
was
know
reading.
about that.
I was reading something on the wire, and it's been like 8-10 years, like
She was here at one time. She came through.
previously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's been a long time.
and I'm not that familiar with her music. It's kind of folksy, bluegrassy.
I'm not either. That's why whatever her tour was, I have no idea.
But I listened to some last night, and it sounded pretty good just on YouTube, just checking out.
She did some stuff, some duet stuff with Robert Plant.
Oh, cool.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah. I bet you they're going to have a nice lineup at Featherstone this year. They also got Dwight Yoakam coming in, right?
Yeah, that'll be a big draw.
The Mavericks, which is
Yes.
a band that people went crazy over last time they were here.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a great show to get to. And I know people who supposedly don't like all country music, but they do like Dwight Yoakam as a classic.
He will draw a crowd for sure.
Yeah. So that's about all I have this week. Kind of an abbreviated version. We're getting through the holidays here, and we hope people are enjoying the holidays.
Well, speaking of the holidays, I can mention that we've got a piece on the Nutcracker coming up, which is the annual tradition. The Mankato area, Mankato Ballet Company does a great job every year of doing kind of their signature show is the Nutcracker every year.
Yeah, that's in the Sunday paper, right?
That'll be in the Sunday paper.
Okay, watch for that. Yeah, that's hugely popular, I think, and people know it. And there's a lot of Christmas things going on. We featured the Bethany Christmas show, which was sold out apparently, but I thought it was cool. They would try to squeeze you in, even, it doesn't cost anything. I wonder how many people went up there after that article. And
hope not too many.
Hopefully it didn't create a problem. We have found that when people read stuff in the Free Press that they didn't know about, there's always some kind of reaction or some kind of crowding. Or what was Vine sold out their special, I didn't even sell it out, is their special yoga class, and we did a short, small article about it, and they were inundated. They had to have 2 or 3 more. So we got the Vine crowd.
That is the target.
They're loyal.
That's
they're
our target demographic,
yes,
I think.
They're with us.
The Vine crowd.
So yeah, and then I should mention, speaking of demographic, we're trying to hit a younger demographic, and Casey Eck, our photographer, did produce our first warm-up called the Warm-Up Music Series, where we bring a local band into our building, have all the sound equipment on a quiet night, and get some acoustic recordings. And we've produced our first one that we put out last week, right around Thanksgiving. It was the Indigo Moon group, and a very cool acoustic group. It was really well done. I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel to check that out. It's not connected to our paywall or anything like that. So we're putting things out there for our younger audience that maybe they're not used to subscribing to a paper, but we're going to give you a few bits of our content in this podcast, of course. So that was cool. And we're going to continue to do that. You can contact Casey Eck if you're a band and you're interested in. It's just a 15-minute thing, so it's just a real sample of your music. It's not a whole show or anything like that. And it's recorded, so you can show it to others if you're trying to get gigs or whatever. You can link to it on our site, and we hope to promote the local bands. We're trying to be local news and entertainment as much as possible, since some of the local news has disappeared from this scene recently. But anyway, also want to mention that we're still looking for a sponsor for this podcast. If you're interested, you can call our advertising department, 625-3764. Subscribe to Great Journalism by calling 344-6364, or you can sign up online, hit the subscribe button on our website, or email reader service at mankatofreepress.com. Can also order sports and any photo reprints you see in the paper. 345-7196. That's SPX Sports, our partner in this. You can also go to our website and click on photo reprints and do it right online. So that's about all I've got. We can wrap it up, I think. Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.